Hi, so this tutorial is going to have a look at how to get data into R from a CSV file. So most of the tutorials in this course, we work with CSV files. You'll be given a CSV file in the notes of the video. And this is really to tell you how do you get those data into R. This video is building on previous ones where we've looked at functions, we've looked at a pipe operator, and we're going to bring some of those things together to look at how we load our data. So when reading a CSV file into R, there's two functions that we can use. The first is the here function, which is from a package that is also called here. And what the here package does is it gets the location of your project. And so we can use it to also get the location of your CSV file. So essentially, step one of the process is we use here to find the file that you want to load. Because unlike other packages, there's not really, if you want to make a reproducible R script, you don't want to be like pointing and clicking on files. You want it sort of coded into your document. The second function we'll use is a function called readCSV, which is from the readr package, which is part of the umbrella package of the tidyverse. So as long as tidyverse is loaded, you can use readr. And what this does is it imports the CSV file into R. And we connect these two functions with the pipe operator. So essentially two stages: locate the file or get the path for the file, and then read it in. So let's have a brief little look at what the here function does. Here function really has one job, which is to return the location of your project. So if you imagine the here function as a dialog box, you can imagine it as a dialog box that has one thing that you can do, which is to add some text in a text box. Now, if you don't add any text and you just were to click on OK, so if you executed the function, it tells you where your project is. So although we're quite used to pointing and clicking on things on computers, in terms of where things are actually stored, they have a location. So you put files in directories. Directories are represented by slashes, and when you navigate through your Windows Explorer or your Mac Finder, what you're essentially doing is sort of drilling down into your hard drive. But we could write that, that sort of drilling down as a text string. So for example, in the diagram on the screen, if we clicked on OK, if my project was on, again, I'm on a Mac, if it was on an external hard drive on a Mac, that's called volumes. It's just always called volumes. So on that drive, within it, there's a folder called documents. So /documents means I'm now in my documents folder on my volume. And then within documents, maybe I've got a folder called my project, and that's where my RStudio project is sitting. But we can also add stuff. So here by default gives us the location of the current project, which is really handy. It means we don't have to worry about where we've saved it. Here just finds it and returns its location. But if we add text into our dialog box, this is like adding information about where within our project something is. So for example, with data files, what I've recommended is that you have a data folder in your project. So the first thing we would add is data to get into our data folder. And then within the data folder, you would want the name of your CSV file. So we'd have to put a slash after data to say we're in our data folder, and then whatever our CSV file is called. In this example, it's edify.csv. So we use here to locate or to get that path, to get that text string of where our file is stored. And then we use the readr package and the readCSV function in particular to read that file. And the readCSV function, it has lots of arguments, but at a very basic level, what it needs is the file path. So in other words, that text location of where the file is. Okay, let's have a look at how this works in practice. So here we've got our RStudio project, which we've been working on in various other tutorials. And within our project, if we look in our file menu, we have a folder called data. If you look at the videos that tell you how to set up RStudio, you'll understand why that folder is there. Within that folder, I've already uploaded the edify.csv. So that's the file we want to get at. So in order to get any CSV file in, first of all, we have to load it into our data folder. That's explained in a different tutorial. So let's assume you've done that. reading in data. Let's get a code chunk. So I'm doing the slash to get this menu up, and then hitting return to get a code chunk. And again, I'm going to label it because that's good practice. Okay. So I'm just going to copy paste the code that we need in here. So first thing to note, when I'm using the here function, I've written it as here, colon, colon, here. Now, if you go back to the video on packages, what I'm doing here is rather than using library to load here, so up here in my setup code chunk, I've got a library command for tidyverse, so all the tidyverse packages are already loaded, but I've chosen not to load here, which I could do library here if I wanted to, but I've decided not to do that because this is the one and only time in this document that I'm going to use it. So I'm using explicit coding style here to say I want to use the here function within the here package. And then within it, within quotes, I've put data/edify.csv. And what this does, if I just highlight that section of the pipe and execute it, it returns the string. So it tells me where my project is. So I'm on Posit Cloud, so my project is in the cloud, then in a folder called project. So this is just reproducing this kind of string here of cloud. Within the cloud, we're in the folder called project. Then within project, we're in the folder called data. That maps onto here. And then within the folder data, we want the edify.csv, which is specified here. So that's just sort of the string that tells R where to find the file. So this is the output from here, that text string, and that is being piped into read CSV. And we don't have to put anything in the brackets in read CSV because we're going to pipe in that text string, and R is basically going to assign that as the file path. It's going to think, well, we don't need to tell it it's the file path, basically. It's going to be able to work that out for itself. So if we were to execute that part of the code, it would read in the data, but it wouldn't store it anywhere. So we also have an assignment operator that says, well, once you've read in the data, can you assign it to the label editib? So, we already have a version of editib. It's basically going to write over that. So if we execute this code chunk, basically this is a load of text you don't need to worry about. This is a message from read CSV saying, I've read in 163 rows, I've read in 18 columns, and basically CHR stands for character or sort of text. So it's saying, I think that these variables are text variables or character variables. So I've treated artist name, album name, track name, and song duration as text. But all these other variables, year, danceability, energy, key, loudness, etc., I have treated as a DBL, which stands for double. It's basically treating them as numbers, or decimal numbers. So readr will fairly intelligently try and guess what the columns are, whether they're text, whether they're numbers, and it will assign those properties to them. So if it thinks it's a text variable, it will treat it as a text variable. You can manually override what it does by default, but a lot of the time it will just accurately work out what the variables are. So for remaining tutorials, that is how I'm gonna, I won't elaborate on this again, that's how I'm gonna expect you to read data in. I'm gonna expect you to use some code really similar to this. The only things that are going to change will be the name of the CSV file and the name that we assign it. So kind of in general, we'll always be using something that looks a bit like this. If you replace the X's with the appropriate text for the particular example we're doing, it's always going to look like that, where you're just replacing those X's with a name for your data and the actual name of your CSV file stored in your data folder. Okay, onwards and upwards.